Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for today's live stream event. And it's hosted jointly by TradeGuider and ActivTrades, who are our Forex brokerage partner. Now, this is the third event in a series of bi-monthly sessions, and today we're going to focus on a smarter way to trade. All the events in this series are centered around the Trade to Win Forex package. The Trade to Win Forex package covers everything you need to trade FX. It includes the automated Forex Trade Alert service. It includes the VSA-like trading software package that plugs into the TradingView platform. It also includes the Forex rules-based trading strategy. And finally, the integrated Forex brokerage facilities from ActivTrades. And in this session, we're going to focus on the first of those, the automated trade alert service. The service provides trade alerts. They're not just trading signals, they're alerts to a future trade setup. And once you receive an alert, you then need to look for certain events to occur on the chart as a trade sets up. And in this session, we'll take you through just that. Now, here is a trade alert. And as you can see, it contains all the information you need to be able to start the trading process. Across the top band, which is green for a long trade, red for a short trade, you'll see the following information: the currency pair, the risk reward ratio, what direction it is, and also a timestamp. Then on the second line, you'll see the name of the currency pair, the time frame the alert was triggered, and the alert type, which is an internal setting you don't need to worry about. The next line contains the suggested entry price, the stop loss, and the take profit target. And finally, you can see the expected profit in ticks or pips. Now, we also have a settings page which you can use to tailor the alerts that you receive. You can choose to have the alerts emailed to you so you can receive them away from your trading desk. You can set the minimum timeframes, risk reward ratios, and profit levels. And there's also instructions on how to set up the service as a web app on your phone. Finally, the service contains an instruction document which clearly shows you how to trade the alerts. So let's see how we can trade them. And I want to bring in Gavin, who heads up our asset management team. The team use the alerts as part of their trading activity. Gavin, show us how you and the team use the alert service. You may want to hand over your screen.
Yeah, I will. But before I get started on that, first of all, we're looking at Forex at the moment, but I want to be clear that the alerts work in multiple instruments and multiple timeframes. Now, I'm going to show you the GBP USD alert that just came in. So we're going to do it live, and you can see exactly what's happened and why. Because an alert is only as good as the trader that trades the alert. So I'll take the screen, and then what we'll do is show you this, and then I think it'll help all of you to understand it. Now, what is an alert, first of all? Well, you can see here, we've had quite a few alerts on the GBP USD today because Rishi Sunak is speaking at a conference. And if you don't know who Rishi Sunak is, he's our Prime Minister. And we often find these alerts come out when news is being talked about, which today the big news was, well, the HS2 project, which is the high-speed train line project, is being scrapped to do other things. I mean, it's politics, so I don't want to get into it. But what I did see was stuff on the chart, which I want to show you. Now, when we look at these things, the word potential is quite clear.
Forex Trade Alert.
Yeah, you can just hit it. So you're hearing there Richard's voice. It's not him speaking. It's a recorded alert that's telling me there's stuff going on. And then we've got to go and look at the chart. So what I want to do today is just go through the process, which is actually what it is, a process. And you say, right, I see X, I see this. So we'll look at the GBP USD, okay? So we've got alerts this morning. Okay, you can see the dates. Now we go and look at the chart, because the chart doesn't lie. Okay, so we've got to look at the information on the chart. So we go to it and we say, okay, when the alert on the 5-minute chart came in, did we get a trigger? Now, most of you, I think, have probably already viewed a lot of our YouTube videos. But before the Prime Minister spoke, we got buying on this very high volume bar and a test. Now, I'm using something called Trade to Win, which is a package that we offer. And it's fairly straightforward. And it looks for exactly these triggers where the market breaks the top of the bar and tests it. That's bullish. That's why it's gone up. Now that's a live chart being filmed at 2:20 UK London time, okay, Greenwich Mean Time, and it's there, and there is where it started. There is the volume, there is the closing price, and there is the test. It took about an hour to materialize. Now it's all in the alerts, which is what we do. So it's all here. It's telling us, and we can go down and find many more of them. I mean, there's trade alert. There's another one, but these come in. You know, you've got the USD JPY, which I was trading last night. You've got all of these alerts that come in, and what do they actually do? Well, Richard can explain it in a bit more detail, but what's going on is we've developed an artificial intelligence engine, AI, which some of you will know, and that is calculating where the smart money are moving. Now, I don't like the word AI particularly, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But it's there on the chart. You can't argue with it. It says GBP, USD, if we scroll up and we look at the time frames, yeah, it's gone up. Okay, and we can keep looking at all these different instruments, but we haven't got time. And do we cover cryptos? Yes. And we've just got one on the Aussie Swissy. I don't trade that, but we've got two of them. Now, if we wanted to put the chart up of that, no, you know, if we had time, we could look at all of these. But what the alert is telling us is that smart money are moving into this area of price. Green or red? Red, it means it's looking weak. Green, it's going to go up. Now, I did a webinar, and I'm doing another one, in fact, in the next few minutes with NinjaTrader, in fact, as it happens. But we're going to do this talking about futures, but this works in futures, Forex, stocks, across all instruments. Now, I did an event yesterday looking at stocks and the Middle East market, because we cover all of these things. And I was asked to look at this stock. Now, I don't know anything about Saudi Arabia refineries. I'm not an expert in this. But what I did see was the markup of price on massive volume, followed by no demand. Now, again, I don't want to. It was an earnings report just down here, which caused it, and then it completely come down. But then someone's emailed me about crude oil, and it happens to be a big oil trader, and he's asking me a question, and I believe you're in the room. So the first thing that you do is you say, well, okay, let's look at the news. And this is on the BBC website. So this is not a website that's not well recognized. It's definitely recognized. Now, I love these words because I talked about them in last week's webinar, a cartel. So someone's controlling supply and demand, or a group is controlling supply and demand. Oil cartel leader says demand expected to grow. Oh, that's marvelous. It's going to grow. So the price of oil is going to go up. Okay, and that was yesterday. And then this guy that was interviewing me said, well, what's the price of oil? You know, how far is it going to go? 300, 400? I said, no, it's going down. And I showed him this chart. And it's an 8-hour chart of crude oil. Okay, it's light crude oil futures on the NYMEX. Now, when you look at this type of thing and the alert came in on this, you look at the volume. That's what I've been saying so many times. Look at the volume. The volume is extremely high on an up move on news that actually tell you what, oil's going to keep going up. But that has to be incorrect because we can see it. Now, whether you believe it or not is up to you, but that is the facts. So the market moved up on all this news that, oh, OPEC are going to close the supply of oil, reduce it. It was moved up. A lot of people started buying it, going, well, I tell you what, I think it's going to go higher. And they lost money. Well, that's why. And down it came. And it's still going down. So the alerts that I got on this bar here, which is where the alert came in, where you can see these little dots, is what I call a trigger. It's a trigger. It's saying, yep, that what you're hearing isn't correct. The volume is high, and the market's going to fall. Now, I said this a week ago, but a lot of people don't listen because what they hear is the news, the media, telling them, well, that's, the business news, oil strong, everything's bullish, it's this. But if that's correct, then oil should have gone up again. But on this volume, it didn't. And it didn't do it here either. It recorrected and tried again. But this time, smart money is showing you what they're doing. And that is exactly what the trade alerts do, because it's the same in the pound. We've got this 5-minute chart today while Rishi Sunak is about to talk. And the anticipation's there. And the market's marked down. But look at the volume. Look at the spread, the range, the closing price. And the trade alerts, which we produce, do exactly that. They don't care. A trade alert does not care about news. It doesn't know the news. It's AI. It doesn't care. It's not listening to the noise in the market at all. It doesn't even look at it. It's saying, just give me 3 pieces of information. And those pieces of information are very valuable. It's analyzing supply and demand, cause and effect, effort versus result, and then it's saying, right, that is definitely a change in behavior. And that's exactly what's happened here. And it happens all the time. And once you've got it, and the other question I was asked, which I've talked about in the last webinar, was what is a change in behavior? I said it's like human behavior. Okay, we're either happy or we're sad. We're either feeling good or feeling bad. But whatever we do, we change behavior based on what we see. And markets, ironically, it's traded by humans, they actually react to the emotion of the trader. And if you've got tens of thousands of traders feeling really bad about the British pound and it's falling, some very clever people, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't matter, they start to say, I tell you what, I think I'll buy. And we put a big signal on the bottom, PB. And in fact, we've got one that's just come in on the 5-minute chart, a test. All of this is explained. And all of this is in the trading rules that we provide. And when I say a rule, that's one thing I did learn. As I was watching some videos last night, no one follows rules anymore. Very few people do. If you're given a rule, they say, well, no, I can't follow it. And if you do give someone a trading plan and you say that's the rule, they don't tend to follow it. Because they have individuals, which is fine, have their own idea of applying what they've learned to their own rules system. And I just want to be clear, based on an email from Steve, that's exactly fine. you know, I can't, and certainly Richard would agree with this, I'm sure, and so would Vikesh. You can't give someone a written thing, say you just do that and you just make money. It's really easy because you'd be lying. So what you've got is a framework around what we do, or a framework about what we teach, and then the application of that framework to your individual personality determines your success or failure. And I can't stress that enough. I don't want to take responsibility, and I'm sure Richard and Vikesh doesn't. You have your capital, and I've stressed this many times. When you go to the market, you're putting money at risk, but you can either make a lot of money or you can lose everything. And I know
Forex trade alert.
Yeah, there's another one there. I was talking to a guy who said, well, he said, I've gone for years. He said, I've been going to Vegas, Las Vegas, right? I said, right. And I said, are you a gambler? He said, yes. Okay. And what's your strategy? He said, well, I don't really have one. He said, but usually I'm losing. I said, well, why'd you go there? He said, because I like it. And I've made money in business. So I've got this money. I said, well, if you're trading, the question I was asked on a radio interview a few weeks ago, which is quite interesting, is trading is gambling, right? And I said, no. Trading is about making an investment or a trading decision with risk reward. Hopefully someone has figured that one out, but some people don't. They just trade and then projecting what your profit targets could be.
Cryptocurrency alert.
There's another one. So what happens with the trade alert service that we're offering, and we're doing this, which I think is, as you'll see today, it's giving you, when these things set up, okay, and we've just had one, okay, so we're looking at a 5-minute chart. So I'm looking at a live chart. I'm not going to do PowerPoints, and we've got something called a test here. Now, if we go to a 1-minute chart, and you can hear the alerts going off in the background, what are they testing? Okay, you can see it. They're testing this. And if you read Wyckoff's work and you read my book is Trading in the Shadow of Smart Money, you'll understand that this is a deliberate markup of price based on news, which will drive price higher. Okay, and that if you understand it, will give you an opportunity, and that's all I'm going to say, an opportunity to enter the market at the right time. Now, where you should have entered it is before the news, of course. If we look down here and we go down, we can go all the way down and see all the buying that happened over here and the testing. But that's the change, and this is a 1-minute chart. But look how it changed behavior. And then here, we've got Rishi Sunak talking, and up it goes. That's how the markets work. Back to you, Richard.
Well, actually, I just wanted to ask another question, Gavin. Why have we called these trading alerts and not trading signals?
Because they're not signals.
What's the difference?
Yeah, if you say signal, you would go to a traffic light, right? And you'd say, okay, it's green, I can go. Or it's amber, I should be cautious. At least in this country, in the UK, where I'm broadcasting from. Or it's red, it says, do not go. But if you read the documentation, which some people just don't do, but you read what the instructions are, it's quite clearly saying this trading alert is warning you that something's about to happen. And that is the important part. It's it's the GBP USD. It's going to go up. We've got the alert that happened hours ago. But I've said this 2 or 3 times in the recent webinars, and I don't want to keep repeating myself. You don't want to catch the falling knife, because if you do, you're very brave, but you might get hurt. The fact is, the markets move on supply and demand. But when demand appears a down move, it takes time for it to appear on the up move. And the reason people lose money is they're impatient. They don't want to wait. They say, well, I haven't got any time. Well, you've got all the time that God gives you. So you can wait another day for it to appear. And it does. Always. I mean, it's very obvious. So if you've got a big markup in gold and everyone's saying buy gold and buy silver, which I talked about in the webinar yesterday, with Friday with Simon Campbell, it's the same thing. You're not understanding that it'll take a bit of time for the market to mushroom over at the top and then fall, which is what it's done. There's no argument with that. And it's the same with buying. And I looked at this Egyptian stock, but it doesn't matter which stock, what you look at. You see, this is the same here. The sellers came in at the top, and that was alerted to. Now, this is Saudi Arabia refineries. Okay, so I've got the news that oil is bullish. And I've said this many times. If that's bullish, then how can the market do what it's done on this volume? And just look at it. It has to be correct. And then if I go to the alerts, which I've done, and you say, okay, show me the British pound, for instance. Okay, the British pound was supposed to be weak, but on a 1 minute chart, it's still pushing higher. It's a 1 minute chart. But then someone said, well, no, I don't trade 1 minute. I trade an hourly. Okay, it's fine. Have a look here at the hourly chart. Where's the buyers? Well before Rishi Sunak talked, they're there. They're right in front of you. And so they're saying quite clearly, we're accumulating. And then over here, which I saw on a 15-minute chart, which is the most interesting one, it took out the top of this area where the PB was. You go to a 15-minute chart, which it alerted me to, and what you start to see is the buying and the testing. It's so logical. And what a piece of software does, which is what we've created, is tell us when immediately it moved. So where would you start to look to buy? Very straightforward. You take the top of that bar and mark it. You look for a test in that area, and you've got a secondary one, and that's why it's gone up. And that's all in the trade alerts. That's there. And why does it have to work? Because it's based on logic. Supply and demand, cause and effect, effort versus result. Here's demand on the volume. Here's the test of the demand, which is what they do. The professional money go, okay, let's bring it down. Oh, the volume is declining. Well, look at that. That's interesting. It's going down and the pullback. Let's push it up. And if you've got a piece of software that we have, and it is AI, I would say, it's triggering because we can send an email alert, which Richard just discussed, to tell you when that happens. Now, we should be selling millions of copies of this program. And we are selling a lot, or thousands. But the point is, what people don't understand is the timing. They don't want to wait for this to happen here. Okay? So this area here, they're bored for 10 hours. They go, oh, to tell you what, I'm bored. I don't want to wait. I was exactly the same. Okay, so I'm not going to pretend. I was exactly the same. I was. I'll tell you what. I said to Tom. I said, no. This is definitely going to do this. It's definitely going to do that. And the word definitely causes a problem in your head because suddenly you're controlled by that thought. You're going. It's definitely going up. Even if you're right, it could take 48 hours. And that is where I learnt my lesson. And I learned it the hard way, which most people do, but I learned it because I realized that actually patience here in this area, once you see it and you see this accumulation phase, and it can, it's a 15-minute chart. So that took about, what, 48, 50 hours, whatever. You wait, and then you look for the top of this bar here, and you wait for the market to test that level, which it did, and then push up through it. Get that bit right, you will be successful. Back to you, Richard.
Well, I think, as Gavin said, it's all the two things that traders fail on most is lack of patience and lack of following the plan. And I think that's what comes out of this. And I'll be coming back to Gavin a bit later. I want to show you a way that you can actually get this service for free. And I want to bring in Vikesh from ActivTrades to tell you how you can do that. Vikesh, over to you.
Hi, thank you very much, Richard. So the way it works is very simple. What you need to do is you need to open up a trading account with ActivTrades via our website, activtrades.co.uk. Please make sure you open an ActivTrader account because that account is compatible with TradingView. And once you have opened the account and funded this account, just get in touch with me. I'll drop my email address into the chat shortly, and we will then provide you the specific links to sign up and get the software.
So that's it. So there is an opportunity to get this service free and to try it out, and you would have access for the lifetime of your live account with ActivTrades. Anything else you want to say, Vikesh, before we move on?
I think just people need to keep in mind that this is obviously a promotional service from both sides, and it won't last forever. So if you want to make use of it, you should act fast.
Yep, I agree. Okay, thanks for that, Vikesh. Gavin, just back to you. What trade setups are you and the team looking at the moment, and have any of them been triggered by the alert service?
Okay, so I'll take the screen back.
I think you've actually got it. I think you're right, but I don't think Vikesh took it.
Okay, so I've got it. So basically, let's go through a couple of the trades that we've got running and look at what we're doing. So we'll look at gold, first of all. Okay, and silver, which I don't want to keep repeating myself because I've already done a webinar on YouTube and that's been viewed by hundreds of people. But there are certain things that are definitely setting up. Now, obviously, you've got the weekly chart of gold, which is clearly falling. But that is a safe haven. So if you're safe in this haven, have fun with that because it's not. And if you look at the daily chart, well, we saw it back here, the selling at the top. Now, I've listened to lots of, very experienced traders and bankers saying gold is now the safe haven back here in May of this year. But I've got a big red indicator, which we've got in TradeGuider right at the top. And it's in my Smart Center Pro program as well. And I said to myself, well, if that's a safe haven, why has it gone from a top of 2075 to 1831? Is that a great investment? Of course it's not. So that's one example of how volume does show us that it's marked, the price is marked up. And if you've got an indicator, which we've got, and it says, okay, get ready to short, it triggers. Now, we've obviously got the story of oil, which I just mentioned at the beginning. And then we look at the chart of oil, and we can see the same thing going on the 8-hour chart. It's unarguable. This is the point. You can look at data and say, nah, he's not telling me the truth. Fine. But that is what's gone on. You've got a story here from OPEC a few days ago that oil has gone down. Wake up, said Richard Ney. And I like that story because it's what happened to me. Wake up. If you want to get on in life and, you know, make some money, wake up, because you'll be triggered by this and you'll know, well, that's a gotcha bar. But then you say, okay, give me a 1 hour chart. Okay, fine. And that's what I did. And I said, look, the market is in a downtrend and we've broken the old lows. We're making lower lows. And this guy that was interviewing me was like, what are you talking about? I said, look, you're telling me crude oil's bullish and I'm telling you it's bearish. And he was staggered because he saw the volume on the upside here and what I've discussed in trading in the shadow of the smart money, the mushrooming over. Okay, and you've got that. But I said, you can go to a 15-minute chart and get a really good trade here. And that's interesting because you then go to a 15-minute chart of crude oil.
Forex trade alert.
Okay, but what you see in the background is all the selling coming in. Here, 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 and then here, yesterday, look at this. In fact, today, look at that volume. Okay, and you'll see it fall further. I can't do any more, in my opinion, than show exactly that. There is potential hidden selling, and it's there. It doesn't disappear. And we know it's selling because of what the price bars do, and that's why it's falling. So it's now 86. But every piece of media I even look at about crude oil is that it's going to 120, 130, but it's not. That is no demand, and that is hidden selling at the same price level. Now, either I'm stupid, which is possible, by the way, or that is exactly what's going on. And we can see it live. This is not a PowerPoint. This is actually a real chart. And so that indicator just came in while we were talking on the 15-minute chart. And this is going to collapse. Now, I don't pretend to be a messiah and someone who says, oh, this has to happen. I trade what I see, which Richard...
Cryptocurrency alert.
Yeah, and we've got the alert came in on the crude oil chart an hour ago. Now, if I put that on a 1-minute chart, I'm going to show you exactly what happens. Okay, because I'm now looking at the other screen. And what you've got here is a downtrend. So you've got the attempt to support the market, it did, and now it's broken the low. Now watch. Tell me if I'm wrong. What we will see, almost for definite, is an attempt to rally. But if we attempt to rally into that area on no demand, there's your trade. Now, this has to be logic, because that's what Tom taught me. There has to be a logic behind it. And you say, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that. Well, it is. So where's this going to go? That's a great question. I just got your email, Steve. I don't care where it's going to go.
Cryptocurrency alert.
I don't mind. What I want to say is, if I take a trade, what's my risk? That's pretty much the concept of the alert service that we've got. What is the risk I can put in if I've got 10 million in an account? What's my risk? Now, if you watch this now, this is going to fall, okay, and you're going to see this. And the reason it's going to fall is they've tested it and it's failed. Now, it's a 1-minute chart of crude. It's like crude oil futures on the NYMEX. Now, if I'm wrong, the whole thing will spring back up, but it doesn't matter about being wrong in trading at all, because you're never going to be right 100%. Now, I'm doing this publicly to a lot of people here with ActivTrades. And I know that's going to fall, but it doesn't matter if I'm wrong. What happens if I'm in it, which I'm not, to be clear, I'm not trading it at this moment. I'm ready to trade it. But if I'm right, it's going to collapse, because it's not about me, it's about the system. And that's why it's going. And I can't do any more. As I said to my wife yesterday, she's saying, well, you're doing these webinars, you're getting everything pretty much right in front of people. I said, yeah. I said, but you can't convince people sometimes, which is fine, because your money is at risk. So I focus more on risk management than taking the trade. That's what I do in my mentorship. And the reason for that is, whilst I can analyze this chart on Wyckoff principles and show why it's going to fall based on the news, which is completely opposite.
Forex trade alert.
Yeah, I also know that when anyone's listening to a presentation by any trader, they're going to look at all the things that could cost them money. Well, I can tell you this, and I hope you take this. The best way you can keep your money is risk management. And we have a trading plan that works around this, and this works obviously with ActivTrades. Now, if we look at a 1 minute chart, so you just analyze this, you say, well, hold on, we've got a selling indicator at the top. Look at the volume coming in, and it starts to build. Okay, so it's completely correct. There's nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't go down immediately, because they support the market, bring it back up to the same level, and then collapse it. That's how it has to work. You cannot just have one indicator taking the market down the toilet. But now you've got a really good situation, which you'll see. So the trading alert service that we've got has come up with, hey, this is a short in crude oil. Now, I'm not actually trading it myself, but I can absolutely assure you, I'm pretty certain, this will break the low of this bar. And we're on a 1 minute time frame. So the question comes is, how can it work in 1 minute time frames? Well, that's something that we'll explain. Watch what's going to happen. This is going down the toilet almost immediately. And if you are a trader of crude oil, some of you are, you'll see why. Because everything over the top is based on the background, the attempt to support, and the break of support. And it's completely logical. And that's what I teach. Richard, back over to you.
Great, thanks for that, Gavin. Let me just change the screen, share my screen. Right, I think that's there. So to recap, in this session, we've taken you through the automated trade alert service, and we've shown how it fits in with the trading process, as Gavin has been showing you with the charts. Vikas has shown you how you can get the service for free when you fund an account with ActivTrades, and he's put his email address in the chat area. Our next session is on Wednesday, October the 18th, and at that event, we're going to take you through the VSA Lite trading software. Gavin started to take you through it today, but we'll be going through it in much more detail at the next event. And that is the software that comes with the Trade to Win Forex package. Before then, please go to this address, because there you can download the ebook by Tom Williams called Master the Markets. Tom was behind the VSA methodology, and the Trade to Win uses his favorite trading approach. You can download his book, which is Master the Markets, and you can also download the Forex trading strategy that comes with the Trade to Win stocks package. So please join us then. In the meantime, thanks to Gavin and Vikesh for joining me today, and thanks to you all for attending the event. So from us, it's goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your day.